The number 7, the Colorado Buffaloes have landed 7 transfers in one weekend. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Buffs, your daily podcast on the Colorado Buffaloes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Buffs, the second live of the day. Today's episode is brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, the number 1 podcasting network in the business. So thank you guys for making me your first listen of the show. If you're new to the show, what's up? Let's talk. The Colorado Buffaloes have landed 7 transfers in 2 days. They just added 2 more on Sunday, and I like both of them. One of them has a very unique tie to a certain someone that Colorado lost. But let's start off with Jaja Boyd. He went to Indiana, was a safety there. He's listed as a safety / corner. PFF has him as a safety. A lot of places has him as a safety. Excuse me, can't speak right now. And he was pretty productive in the games he played. He was the second highest graded player in terms of coverage on Indiana. Granted, he had 23 coverage snaps, but 89.8 grade nonetheless. Was targeted once, gave up a reception for 9 yards, and that was it. So only played in 5 games, like I said, doesn't have the most extensive numbers. But when you look at what Colorado is doing, and he was the highest graded player on the team overall in the 5 games he played, when you look at what Colorado is doing, they are building a secondary that I think has a lot of depth, a lot of experience. You have, quite frankly, a lot of new faces, and you needed a lot of new faces because you lost Tyrekus Davis, you lost obviously DJ McKinney to Notre Dame, Preston Hodge, you lost so many guys. Tion Parks is at TCU, and so now if you're Colorado, you bring in Jaja Boyd at safety, you have Jason Stokes from Utah, you have Paul Amodia from Lamar, you also have Jaden Hardy from Oklahoma, and I'm going to have the Locked On Sooners host come on our show this week to talk about Jaden Hardy. You get Emery Floyd from App State. You get Brandon Fontenette as sort of a hybrid linebacker safety guy. Boo Carter, another safety. You bring in Cree Thomas from Notre Dame, Justin Eaglin from James Madison, and Nathan Mitchell from New Mexico State, who's coming on the show this week. Like, you're bringing in a lot of new faces, and this secondary is going to look very, very good. So, I mean, Jaja is, I think, a nice addition, right? You bring back the Houston transfer that you had this past season, and all of a sudden you're kind of cooking, right? You bring back RJ Johnson, and like, that's a little bit of experience, and he was Colorado's highest graded corner or secondary member in general. And so Colorado brings him in, and then they also add another offensive lineman. And I mean, this is where things get interesting. And I'm just going to tell you who he is first, and then we'll dive into the nitty gritty of it, because I was a little, I don't want to say confused or surprised. I would say surprised. I feel like surprise is a fair word. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to be like, oh, I knew it was happening all along, because as soon as Jordan Seaton hit the portal, I thought this guy was out. And this guy is Javon McFadden, former 4-star recruit from Ohio State. And I'll explain why after a quick break, but give me 3 seconds for a break, and we'll be talking about why I'm a little shocked. This episode of Locked On Buffs is brought to you by our sponsors over at FanDuel. Guess what? The playoff is here, and if you want to get in on the action, FanDuel is giving all customers more ways to get in on that action. Every college football playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost waiting for them in the app. So if you want to ride with the underdog, if you think Miami is the underdog and you believe in them, ride with them. You could build a parlay around players or moments that you think will win the game, and you can apply a profit boost to go after even bigger winnings. And when you win, FanDuel pays out instantly. FanDuel is the best place to get in the action all playoff long. So visit FanDuel.com to get your college football playoff profit boost every game day. This episode of Locked On Buffs is also brought to you by our sponsors over at TurboTax. It's tax season. We all love it, right? It doesn't have to take over your life. Tax season is stressful, but TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax's full service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert, start to finish, without the stress or guesswork. It's a huge time saver and gets real peace of mind knowing an expert is handling. For a limited time, you'd have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in if a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year. Just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit turbotax.com/local to book your appointment today. Okay, we're back. We're talking transfers. The Buffs added Jaja Boyd. I think there is a very intriguing transfer on the market here that they brought in as well. They bring in Mr. McFadden, who Ohio State, former blue chipper, didn't necessarily play a ton. Javon McFadden is his name. You look at his recruiting profile, he fits the billing, right? He's a Maryland native, 6'3", 300 pounds is what he measures in at, which in high school he measured in at 6'5", so someone was lying, right? So he was listed at 6'5" in high school. The transfer portal now has him at 6'3". We'll see. But he had 30 offers, right? Colorado was in on him as a recruit as well. And Florida was in on him. Georgia was in on him. Ended up at Ohio State. Now, he is the cousin of Jordan Seaton. Now, this is where things get a little tricky. Conspiracy. We're going to go conspiracy hat time. Jordan Seaton the other day, probably like a week or so ago, tweeted, "Hey, let's team up after Javon entered into the portal." He said, "Do you want to team up?" And everybody was sort of assuming at the time, because Seaton wasn't in the portal, that meant coming to Colorado. Well, now Seaton is currently on a visit to LSU. I just saw a video of his private jet, the PJ. They got the PJ out for him, and he's in LSU. And there's reports that he's going to be offered around $3 to $4 million. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, interesting." Now, there's two theories to this. One, Colorado was in on him as a recruit, and relationships last in this era of transfer portal. Sometimes it's almost better to be the second team in a recruitment than it is to be the first team, and this, unless the guy starts right away, because so many guys are transferring, right? There was over 10,000 names in the transfer portal this offseason from all levels across college football. So one theory is just straight up like, hey, Colorado had a good relationship with him. He has a chance to play, right? I feel like there's only one guard spot really locked up. I would say left tackle is open if Jordan Seaton's not there. Left guard, I would probably put Yaya there. Center, I think, is going to be the Houston transfer, but he has competition. Right guard, a mystery, and right tackle, somewhat of a mystery, right? They brought Larry Johnson back, but they also brought in 4 offense tackles. So we'll see how that works out. And so he has a clear path to the field, and that makes sense. But there's also conspiracy number 2, which is Jordan Seaton is playing like this long-term game, this gambit, if you will, where he's sort of leading along these other programs, and his cousin, he wants to play with his cousin, and they're going to team up in Boulder again, and Jordan Seaton's going to come back. And the video that I and many others have criticized him for using because it was made for him to come back can finally be used for him coming back. So I think both are a possibility. I would probably lean towards option number 1. I would love to be proven wrong. I would love to be wrong on this. I would love Jordan Seaton to be back in Boulder in 2026. But right now he's visiting LSU, took a trip to Mississippi State. I believe Miami's still in the mix. I've heard a lot of things about Texas being in the mix. So it's very, very interesting, right, that Colorado lands Jordan Seaton's cousin. Does this impact Jordan Seaton at all? We don't know yet. Right? Maybe Jordan Seaton goes, "Oh, my cousin's in Boulder," right? And I didn't really leave things. I didn't really leave things off on a good note, but we'll see. And that, I think those are the two options. I really do. Some other things to note before you go, because I mean, obviously, I think Colorado's killing it in the portal. You look at their rankings in the transfer portal. 21st according to 24/7. I expect that to boost up a little bit with the addition of McFadden and Boyd. They have 42 additions. I think that they're going to bring in probably, I'd put it in the 3 to 8 range. Weird numbers, I know, but based on what Brian Howell has said, Colorado usually hovers around 85 scholarships. They are in the high 70s right now, so I don't really foresee them loading up on like 30 more guys, right? Because they could get up to 105, I believe is the magic number. So there's that. But I wanted to highlight some of the guys who have left because 2 of them committed today. Both Ryan Staub and Isaiah Harge are headed to Tennessee. Now, I'm a little disappointed with Isaiah Harge's departure because I always felt after I think it was a spring game, 2 years ago now, where they didn't have enough running backs and they put him in at running back, and it was just supposed to be like a temporary thing. but he was like kind of killing it in the spring game. He was actually like the only form of offense, I feel like, in that game. And I was like, oh wow, that kid's pretty good at running back, and played a little bit of receiver, a little bit of DB. I think it was similar to the Cam Michael situation where he was a jack of all trades, but a master of none for Colorado. I just feel like they struggled to find the right role for him. I liked him at running back. I thought he was a good slot receiver as well, but obviously wide receivers pretty crowded at Colorado. I mean, even this year, you have Danny Scudero, you have Cam Perry, you have DeAndre Moore, you have Joseph Williams running it back. Like, you have so many wide receivers where it's like, it's just crowded. I would have liked to see him at running back, but it is what it is. So Isaiah Harge goes to Tennessee. I'm not sure what role he's going to fit there. And then Ryan Staub also goes to Tennessee, which kind of surprised me. I always viewed Staub as a group of 5 starter. I thought that was what was next for him. Like, I thought he'd end up at a program like Fresno State, a program like, I don't know, like, I mean, I think Boise State has a quarterback, but like Boise State or James Madison or you name it, like a program where it's like a high caliber G5 program and a program that could contend for the playoff. I thought they'd want him. I thought he was the perfect option. Instead, his visits the entire time he was in the portal, it was Ohio State, it was Kentucky, it was major programs. And he ends up at Tennessee, and Tennessee doesn't really have a clear answer at quarterback. I know they have a couple blue chippers that waited their turn behind Nico and Joey Aguilar this season, but they didn't get Hassan Longstreet. They didn't get Sam Levitt. They didn't get any of the quarterbacks in the portal. So Ryan Staub, in reality, I don't think he's going to start the year as a starter, but there's a very high chance that Martin Luther Staub, if you will, is playing SEC football next year, starting an SEC game. And I'm proud of him for that. I find it very admirable. These are 2 of my favorite players from Colorado, just based on the energy they bring, right? Isaiah Harge, and I tweeted this, I will forever respect him for doing the walk with Coach Prime, right? Coach Prime did that walk with Shador before every game, and that was sort of like a special father-son thing. And I think Coach Prime, he talked about how it was different to not have his sons, but I think Isaiah Harge vowing to do the walk with him before every game, it was a very nice move, right? Because whether Coach Prime admits it or not, and I think he did, it probably had to be a little bit hard for him to not have his sons with him, right? He got into coaching to coach his sons. And I'm sure not being able to do that walk with his son was a little bit difficult. So I will always love and admire Isaiah Harge's decision to do the walk with him. Thought that was very touching. Ryan Staub, I will always admire for sticking around. He had, 17 chances to leave, probably not 17, but you know what I mean? Like, he commits to Colorado. Coach Prime's bringing in his son. And it's like, okay, you clearly know, like, you're not going to play with the son, right? I mean, at Jackson State, they literally told Diego Pavia, hey, we like you, but Shador's the starter. Like, he could have left then. Then he stays for the 2023 season. And it's like, okay, he got a couple of, I think he started the Washington State game at the end of the year. And it was like, he got some film under his belt. He could have tried the transfer portal, comes back again, backs up Shador in 2024. I don't think he played all that much, if at all. And again, he could have left, comes back this year, is the backup, and gets a chance to start, right? Because he exploded in the Delaware game. And I just admire him for sticking it out. It's very rare for someone to stick things out nowadays in this era of college football. So I admire both Staub and Harge. I wish them nothing but the best at Tennessee. As for the Buffs, Jaja Boyd, good ad, a lot of depth in the secondary now. And then Trayvon McFadden. Does this mean Jordan Seaton's coming back? I feel like the other day I said the chances of Jordan Seaton coming back, I think I gave it like a 5% chance. Like, I feel like Javon McFadden joining the fold bumps it up to like a 11.3% chance. And I feel like that's a lot better, right? We're trending in the right direction. So we will see what happens next with Jordan Seaton. I'll keep you guys updated every step of the way. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure to subscribe, turn your notifications on for the show, because we're going to have some interviews coming on. People around the country talking about the transfers we added, a player who's going to hop on the show. So it's going to be really fun. I appreciate all you guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and I'll see you tomorrow.